Welcome to Diary of a Trader. As always, my name's John and I'll be with you for another video today. We're going to go over one of my favorite pieces of software. In fact, if I had to, if I could put Motivewave, TradingView, and Optima by Market Analyst, if I could put all three of those and take the best of them and put them into one thing, I would be a happy camper. But unfortunately, we can't have everything we want. But for this is tied with my favorite, though. Motivewave is a fantastic piece of charting software. It's a professional grade piece of software. It is affordable. It is very user friendly, and we're just going to kind of go through it right now. So when you start up Motivewave and they have a trial, workspaces you set up, which I've already done, but they have a number of data, the CQG, TD Ameritrade, Trade of 8, Oanda, Forex.com. They connect to a large variety of folks. Additionally, they actually connect to some live crypto data as well through Coinigy or through Crypto Compare. And I created a brand new workspace called Diary of a Trader just for today. And it's gonna log in, and I'm just, what I'm not gonna do is show you my username or password, so I'm gonna pause it real quick, and then we'll continue as soon as I've got that loaded. Okay, now I put that in. I'm just gonna hit allow, and now we're gonna load up the workspace. It is a very customizable, very neat and clean system. I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially when we can see what we can do as far as the cool aspects. Now, this is the default setup. In the ones that I use, I get rid of all this stuff. Really don't need it there. They've got one-click trading if you need to or want to. But let's just take a look at the chart. Pretty basic looking chart, but you can change if you right-click. If you don't like let's say you don't like the black background and the red and the yellow candlesticks, well, you can right click, go to chart settings, and they have a huge number of settings, such as like if I want 3D candlesticks, and maybe I don't like that background. Maybe I'd like to use one, like I don't know, twilight, or actually, how about sunset? That actually looks kind of neat. And then I like red and green or white or black. But I'll use red or green. Hit OK. And then we can see we've got this kind of neat little hue here. But for some folks like me, that while it looks neat, I want to see a flat color on my background. It looks like a heat map. So I'll just go to the light theme. And I'll have to rechange this back to the colors that I want. Red and green. All right. So there we go. We have our candlesticks. These are 3D candlesticks. They look kind of neat. And we have our grid. Now, they have down here, this is, I think it's called like the eagle eye view, or this is the, bird's eye view. So that they have a little, you can drag this time frame around. Instead of having to drag your screen, you can do it from below here, which is a very nice thing to have. You can just see if we slide it back here like so, it'll bring us where we're at. If we want to just click on a day like, oh, it's price doing it on August 24th or August 14th, double click's not working. Okay, so let's say I've got the euro up, and let's look at some of these features. One of the things, and I'll get this out of the way right away, the awesome part about Motivewave is that it will auto-generate Elliott waves, and it'll auto-generate Gartley patterns. Okay, now there's a couple ways you can do this. So if I scroll all the way out, and I'm looking at this data, or if I go to a weekly, let's go to a weekly chart. And I want to see, okay, well, what Elliott wave are we in for this? For the super millennial pattern. All I do is I hold Control Shift and then W, and it'll bring up this tool here. You can see that it'll go wherever I want. So I'm going to put it at the all-time low, as close as I can get. I'm going to click, drag, And look at that. It automatically plots these Elliott wave patterns. Now, if I right click, they come off here with the screen, but you can double click on it and we can adjust the settings to show the channel, extend it, show the middle line, call it the super millennium wave ratios. We can put a whole lot of data, like what is the ratio between the first impulse and the first corrective. There's a whole slew of things that we can put on our screen here. And I mean, this is a pretty fantastic tool, folks. You don't see, there's no other software has this auto Elliott wave. And so the other thing that we can do is we can configure our settings with our preferences, and we can go over to Elliott wave and say we want to see wave lines, we want to see future points. Let's say we want to see all this stuff here. We can just collect it, hit apply, and then they'll all be here. So we get to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the range in between those zones here, which is a really nice, really nice isn't that awesome? It is one of the coolest parts about this software. Additionally, we can do Gartleys as well. So let's bring this down to like an hourly chart. And you kind of got to know how Gartleys work, or at least how they're constructed. You want to get an idea of how they are constructed. But ultimately, if you do the same thing, it's Control Shift and then G, and then you see that it brings up this, looks like a little mountain, and we just kind of highlight an area. But we've got to get an area that will work. It's not a very good zone to begin with here. There we go. And now we see that we have this Gartley pattern, but the lines are, the issue is that I should have, I'll bring this back to dark. There we go. Now you can see the Gartley pattern. It automatically forms those with the ratios, and it just says it's a Gartley. But it'll do other patterns as well. And if you don't like to do that, then we can do this. This is pretty sweet. So we can go to the scan tool, and we can hit new scan, and we can call it Gartley. And then we can input some symbols. So we could do the EUR USD, USD JPY. We could do Bitcoin USD, Euro pound, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Let's just use those for now. Hit next. And let's see, I want to do one for the daily, 1 day chart. I want to do one for the, and I'll do one for the 4-hour chart. Oops. Hit OK, go to next. And I want all of the patterns. You can select a specific one, but we'll just say all of them. And then hit finish. And now all we have to do is we can just hit start. And so what's going to happen now, it's going to populate and auto search and scan these charts, each instrument, and the time frames that we said. So we wanted to see the euro dollar on a daily time frame. We wanted to see some patterns. But then it gives us the rating based on, where are the price levels at relative to the Fibonacci ratios. Because Gartleys are really dependent on Fibonacci's. Some Gartley patterns have very specific Fibonacci levels that have to be reached, and then some there's a variance. Some are very static, some are very subjective. So let's filter it. We can filter it by score here, and let's go to excellence. So let's see. Let's look at the Euro 4-hour chart, the Euro cipher. Here's the chart down here. I can maximize that chart. Scroll out a little bit, and then here's the cipher. So that pops up, and look at that. We have a very, very nice looking Gartley pattern on our screen telling us that this is a cipher. and that the price target is ultimately up with a return back to 120. Now we can check out some other ones too. So what are some other ones we see? We see this is a bearish shark here, shark pattern. Euro pound has a shark pattern. Check out the euro pound. Pretty awesome. Yep. It's pointing straight down, isn't it? All right. So those are just kind of two things that we can see. We can also do this with Elliott waves, but you know, we do the same thing just with Elliott. As far as what kind of, you know, instruments you can look at, or if we look at the strategies, you know, that's something we should probably take a peek at. So let's look at the dollar yen. Look at a 4-hour chart, and the studies, they have some pretty significant studies. Okay, I think that one of the things that Motivewave is really fantastic about is they update their study library quite a bit now. TradingView has a lot of is really ran by its community as far as the indicators that show up. Motivewave, they have, I think, depending on what people put in or they would like to see, they put them in, but they have some very, very advanced and updated and effective kinds of indicators. And you know, you'll see ones that you see everywhere, like the Ichimoku system, Donchian channels, you know, any of the elder indicators. You know, some you've probably never heard of, and we could spend a year going over all of these. And the one thing I really like about them is they just don't give you the name. Okay, like let's say McGinley dynamic indicator. You know, what if you saw this on another piece of software, you just click on it and then it'll put it on the screen. But what they do really nice is they kind of give you what it is and then a calculation, or if it's more, you know, kind of wordy, like I think there's a reversing MACD indicator, which is basically you're putting it onto the price chart as well. And they give a nice description of what it is. So, you know, back in 2012, this is by Johnny Doe, and which I don't know if that's a play on things or not, but John Doe. But you can put it on the screen and you can see that it's there. But I think really what a lot of the things they excel at as far as the indicators you can use is their volume indicators. Now, I didn't connect my futures connection here for this video, but if you're familiar with a tool called Jigsaw, or there's another one called Bookmap, you've probably seen the heat map before, and like in the futures market, you have to pay a premium for that. I mean, those are really expensive pieces of software. Well, one isn't, one is, and they actually have a way to where they show that the bids and offers in a futures market sitting there. It's really, really fantastic. But if I go to the volume studies, they have a really awesome, where are we at? Volume based. So we could look at the TPO time price opportunity and do it on a daily time frame. Tick interval. Let's see. We do like 50. I won't go through all the descriptions here, but I mean this is a pretty neat form of analysis. And basically what we're seeing here is for each day you'll see this data pop up. Let's make it a little easier to read. We're going to a 30-minute chart. Okay. So what we're seeing is that each one of these little bars here, one of these rectangles, this is a period of time. So for this, we put it at every 30 minutes. It's telling us, you know, this is called time price opportunity. It's telling us like the volume traded during a certain time and how long it was spending in that time period. So it's a combination of like volume profile and time analysis, and then the point of control is right here. And generally, you know, really oftentimes the volume, wherever the volume's traded the most, it's also kind of the most time that something is traded. That's not all the time, but that is generally the rule. So, but if we did it at like a 60-minute interval, We can see here, we can you can letter them as far as like almost like a session, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can see where the price range was at during that. Or sometimes people like to see the row totals. You can see how many there are per row. There were 14-hour periods that were spent at that price level. Initial this is where it paints. This is the open range. So for the first 5 minutes of the session that this opened up, this is the range that it traded. We can do the value area, you like a volume profile, but this is a fantastic piece of analysis and more advanced form of volume profile. But you don't have to look at it just like that. There's other ways we can do it. But I also want to point out that they have a very, very, very extensive drawing library. So for Gannists, they have the PurePoint. There's only 2 pieces of software that really have PurePoint native in its material, and that is Optima by Market Analyst and then Motivewave. So PurePoint is a form of Gann analysis, and come on. We have rotatable squares that we can put down. You can also edit the shapes of them. You can put the degrees and lines in here. There's Gann. A Gann wedge is really just it's a Gann semicircle, but that you can make it wider if you want. They have the Gann fan. This is a really, as far as, Optima by Market Analyst certainly has like the cream of the crop for Gann studies as far as the collection of indicators and the activity of the team has. They really kind of focus on that Gann material and the and financial astrology, whereas Motivewave just, I don't want to say just, if Optima did not exist, this is the most advanced Gann suite around, period. Time price analysis, if we're going to square a range, this is something that we could utilize. They also, for people who are big Fibonacci fanatics, there's a significant amount of Fibonacci studies that you can do here. You can do the time range from one swing to the other. So if we knew that we've got here to there, we can see the extensions of those time frames and see if the important fib levels line up with important swings in the future as they extend. Regression channels and their retracement values. It's just regression arcs. These are pretty fascinating too. Actually, want to get it set to a point first. All right, there's just a slew of trade ideas and things that we can utilize. The drawing tools are very simple. They're very effective. They are very easy to utilize. Markers, for anything, putting up their commentary, notes, basic, general trend lines, vertical lines, all that jazz. There's a large amount of things you can do here. One of the nice things that if I want to do like MTF, multi-timeframe analysis, I can, so for I trade the Ichimoku system a lot. So let's say I want to do that. So, or I'll do this. Let's say, yeah, I'll do that. So let's say I've got, I want to do a daily chart and I want to do a 4-hour chart. Oops. And I'll do an hourly chart. Actually, do the hourly up here. and then the daily on the bottom right. And I want to do the Ichimoku system, but I don't want to I don't want to have to change all of these things. And I've got the euro dollar here, the euro pound. I don't have to go switch these all at once. Something I can do really easily is just, I can link on the bottom left here. I can say link all. And if I, change it to like BTC USD, then everything will change to Bitcoin with their charts and the hours staying the same. So I've got the hourly chart for Bitcoin, but I want to go back to the euro. And there's the euro. Now, next question is, okay, well, you want to put the Ichimoku system, and do you have to put the Ichimoku on for every single chart? No, not anymore. Now I can just go to study, go to overlays, Ichimoku, create, and now it's populating on all of the charts respective to their time frame. So here's the Ichimoku system on the daily, and then on the bottom left it's the 4 hour, and then on the top it's the hourly. Right, so we have the Ichimoku system sitting on all of these. And one of the nice things that we can do, I didn't do it here, but this is absolutely awesome, is that we can do a global crosshair. And so wherever I put the mouse on the same chart, it'll show up on all the charts. Okay, so if you see it right here, so if I'm on the hourly chart, you can see where my cursor's at relative to the 4 hour chart and the daily chart. It's pretty awesome stuff, isn't it? So if I know for the Ichimoku, I don't have to move my mouse around a lot. I can say, okay, well, on the hourly, if we do a pullback, or if I want to know, okay, where was this breakout or probable breakout? This first breakout on the hourly right here, what do I see? Where was that at related to the daily and the 4 hour chart? I can get a pretty good idea of saying, well, is this going to get resisted in the past? If I look at the 1 hour, the daily chart, am I going to face resistance at this level? Or if I'm going to face it on the 4 hour? So we get a lot of, it's a very awesome, useful tool to use. And again, it's a very exhaustive suite of software. They have trade strategies here. You can connect your broker to it and automatically trade strategies, do auto trading, or create your own strategies. There's really not a lot you can't do with this software. It's fantastic. I mean, if you're somebody who is wanting to kind of go into trading a little bit more professionally, or put a little bit more into it, besides the mental practice and the emotional and psychological control that's required, a good piece of trading software that has proper data connections is very, very useful. There's nothing wrong with TradingView. I know a lot of people use TradingView. I think it's phenomenal for technical analysis to get something like that out there for people to begin to use. It's a good starting piece of software, and it's very advanced in its own right. But Motivewave is your next step up. Okay. It's affordable. Actually, let me go to the website real quick, and we can look at the costs here really fast. So here's the website and the products. Look at all the products. The charts, just the basic is $99. The ultimate lifetime license is $1,600. Yeah, I do the ultimate. No, sorry, I don't do the ultimate. I do the professional. It's every 3 months I get it. And here's the thing too. So, if you buy the charts and there's different versions. So if we do the compare editions, maybe that we should do that. So, it tells you what you have and what you don't have. So the professional grade, how many studies can you have, or do you have access to? Unlimited. I mean, you really get down to all of these here, and yeah, we get all the way over to Actually, I do the professional. That's right, or the ultimate edition. Yeah, I do the ultimate. Her cycles, Gann components. I mean, if you want to do a lot of the stuff like the automatic Elliott, automatic Gartley, and access to all these Gann components, and then Hirsch cycles are just the best in the world. You have access to all of these here. It may seem really expensive, $1,600. It's not. I'm telling you from somebody who's dropped tens of thousands of dollars on various pieces of charting software. This is like the biggest bang for your buck. Compare what this software does is a better value than TradingView. And TradingView is really kind of the best value for trading software, but as far as if we're going to take everything that Motivewave can do and everything that TradingView can do and everything that NinjaTrader can do and MT4 and multi-chart and all this other stuff, Motivewave is hands down the best value out there. You really can't beat it. They're active. They respond to support questions frequently. They implement things that you have ideas on. They'll work with you. You really can't go wrong with Motivewave. They have a trial. Check it out. I'm not putting out an affiliate link or anything because I don't believe in doing that. I just really believe in putting out things that are going to be useful for traders, and this is one of the best out there. Probably do another video going into more things related to account management and all that jazz. So, and the software development kit, back testing. It's a fantastic piece of software. 14-day trial is amazing. You can do a lot with it and see if it's worth it for you. But definitely give Motivewave a shot and check it out. And from all of us here at Diary of a Trader, hope you guys found this video helpful and interesting. And I look forward to speaking with you in our future videos.